finest professional wrestling from the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic region, Capital Wrestling.
I can't believe all this happened. Like, it was all so fast. Tim and Bob came out and they just started beating up on my buddy Ronnie. And, I'm a big fan of Kings of the Ring. Ronnie's a good buddy of mine. And it was just so much, it was overwhelming. Somebody had to do something. Somebody had to do something. And, I don't know if my behavior was out of order or just, listen, Capital Wrestling, I got the fire. I got a taste. I hope you like what you saw. Just give me another chance and bring me back. Bring me back to Capital Wrestling for another show. The Dragonborn Drake Chambers has to come back.
Because Capital Wrestling, no matter who you are, just know that Timmy Danger, along with the manager of champions, Neil Sharkey, just got to say the end of your career. Take that, Santa. Never look this good.
Ladies and gentlemen, this tag team contest is set for one fall. Introducing first, fighting out of West Texas State University, the team of Eric Martin and Tyler
The Classics, of course, dressed in a more traditional style of tag team wrestling here.
Absolutely, harkening back to the days of the Andersons, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew, some of the best classic tag teams of all time.
And even more recently, the Revival.
That's true.
The golden age of tag team wrestling.
And satin jackets.
Has extended to Capital Wrestling for sure.
No, we have to celebrate. Water's not celebrating. This is the pre-celebration because tonight, for the first time ever, the rock and roll model Matt Sells, the insane luchador Smiley, we come to Capital Wrestling. What do you think? You ready for that? Yeah, of course Smiley's ready because the rock and roll model's ready. The team of the Sex Crazed is ready. We're going to go out there and we're going to prove to the world, prove to Capital Wrestling that we are the best tag team in the world, right? Right, yeah, of course that's right. Because Capital Wrestling, get ready for a sex experience like no other.
A lot of people ask, they say, Pain Train, you got this NRA thing, the National Wrestling Alliance, running wild all up and down the East Coast of professional wrestling. First thing they want to know, how can we be a part of it? It ain't a sign-up process. It's something that we decide. And the first thing you're going to have to do is look in the mirror and ask yourself a question. Simple question. Am I a cuck? You don't know what it is, you might want to look it up. Because we don't have any cucks given in the NRA. Speaking of which, in the locker room, Capital Wrestling in Jersey City, Jersey, I look up and there for a brief second, I couldn't breathe. My heart skipped a beat. I thought I saw Arn and Tully getting ready to make their way out. But it wasn't. It was a couple of youngsters named Eric Martin and Tyler Stone, the Classics, and I knew then, right away, they needed to be in the NRA. And the Pain Train grabbed them, and now we groom them. And they will be the very best tag team that Capital Wrestling has. Bank on it.
Do you want early and instant access to Capital Wrestling episodes before they air on any of our other platforms? Well, become a patron of Capital Wrestling at patreon.com/Capital Wrestling. Not only do you get episodes before anybody else, you get exclusive content, including podcast, additional episodes of Capital Wrestling, merchandise opportunities, and more. Go now to patreon.com/Capital Wrestling. Capital Wrestling, old school wrestling for the modern fan. Capital Wrestling returns to Cathedral Hall Saturday night, June 3rd, with an action-packed 8-match card that you don't want to miss, being taped for Capital Wrestling Television. Already signed to debut Maxwell, Jacob Feinstein, Anthony Gangone, as well as the returning Pain Train Preston Quinn, the Colossal Mike Law, the New York Wrecking Crew, and more. For tickets and more information, go to facebook.com/Capital Wrestling. Capital Wrestling, old school wrestling for the modern fan.
Oh my goodness.
Of course, it's Smiley and Matt Sells here to take on the Classics. A bit of an odd pairing, don't you think?
As far as traditional as you can get. Yeah, an odd pairing, but who's odder? An odd pairing, it's crazy versus crazier.
Crazy or not, both men can go inside of that squared circle, and we are going to see some great tag team action tonight here on Capital Wrestling.
I mean, more than strange bedfellows. I mean, these are two bizarre individuals who come together well for some reason. And the Classics not impressed or thrilled with the gimmicks. It took a long time to convince them to wear different colored knee pads than trunks. Believe me, I overheard that discussion for a while.
I'm sure they're still arguing about it in the ring. Smiley, of course, being received warmly here by the Cathedral crowd.
Along with Matt Sells.
I wouldn't want to, you smell like shit.
And of course, we are getting ready to get underway live here at Capital Wrestling in Jersey City.
There we go. And Smiley starting out the match. And Smiley immediately, a very odd wrestler to have to wrestle. There's a very unorthodox style, so.
How would you prepare for someone as unorthodox as Smiley?
There is no way to prepare for someone as bizarre and crazy as Smiley. Who is he under that mask? We don't even know. The guy can't wear matching socks. He's got a necktie on. I mean, he's a strange, strange individual. And for a tag team like the Classics to train in the old school style of wrestling, this is going to kind of be hard for them. Not going to lie.
And not just Smiley is a bit unorthodox. His tag team partner as well, Matt Sells.
And the referee.
The referee getting involved. How did that happen?
And Smiley.
Smiley using the referee as a weapon here.
Well, the referee can't disqualify himself, though he should. I don't know what's going on here.
How do you recuse yourself from a match that you just became involved in?
I mean, how can you be angry that someone uses a foreign object when you're that foreign object? There's a lot of questions here, Steven.
Smiley just cheering on the ref, trying to get him get his own little pop here.
Well, this ref a little bit of a glory hog here, apparently.
He's just enjoying his moment. Going to lock up again. Smiley looking for a single leg. No dice here. Snapmare takedown here, and the mask taken off but to no avail here.
A second mask.
A second mask.
God, I hate people who wear masks.
You have to admit, fairly clever here, having a backup mask there to ensure his secret identity.
Well, I think it's great that he finally got a mask to replace those paper bags.
What's wrong with a paper bag? I carry my groceries in that.
Well, I'd rather look at your groceries than your face. Anyway, a nice rollover there.
Giving the mask back, throwing as a distraction. Nice wrist lock here. Smiley going up top. Walking the ropes here. Up and down. The athleticism of Smiley on display here in Capital Wrestling.
The Classics. Not thrilled with the antics of Smiley.
Looking perhaps to go tit for tat here are the Classics. But to no avail. Hung out to dry.
Not exactly your style.
He's going to have to stop at Baskin Robbins on the way home. Ice that down.
That's right. Well, perhaps maybe a little more time in Mexico before you do all that lucha stuff. That's why you got to stick to the mat wrestling. You know, some hammer locks. You know, something. Maybe a spinning toe hold.
You would think that the Classics, that's their nom de guerre, but perhaps the unorthodox style of Smiley has taken them out of their element.
The Classics thankful for this opportunity given to them by Mike Keener, senior official here at Capital Wrestling.
Of course, it is all about the tag team titles here, and you wonder how long before either one of these tag teams wind up in the tag title picture.
Well, I mean, you know, that's the beauty of a new company like Capital. It's an open field. At any given point, any of these guys can find themselves in the hunt.
It just speaks to the competitive atmosphere and the raw talent here at Capital Wrestling.
Well, I know that the Classics really want the opportunity to become champions like their heroes, the Andersons, and all the classic tag teams, the Briscoes, the Funks. Just disgusting display here.
And Sells.
Just why
there's no reason for that. To the back of the head with some sort of foreign, would you call that a foreign object?
I mean, you can't see it under the trunk, so. It is hidden in his trunk, so.
Well, maybe it's padding.
Maybe, but Matt Sells definitely showboating. See, this is the problem here. The Classics trying to emulate the former tag team champions like the Steiners that they admire, where I know that Sells and Smiley would like the title, because I know Smiley thinks there's chocolate in the gold, but.
While you may look at this odd pairing and see just two people who don't take anything seriously, they still find a way, perhaps, to make their opponents crazy and lead them to potentially make mistakes. It's about capitalizing on mistakes.
I know that the throwbacks, part of what they want to do is rip off Smiley's mask, take away his dignity, not just beat these two, but they don't just want the win here. They're disgusted by the antics of these two. They don't like the showboating. They don't like the flashiness.
The Classics taking exception to the style and the tenor
of Sells and Smiley. And now you can see where that classic training comes in. This is classic tag team wrestling. Isolate them in the corner, make quick tags, work them over.
And now a little bit of showboating on the side of the Classics here. Causing harm to his own tag team partner here, unawares, as Sells goes for the big reveal here.
Yeah.
On the outside. Now finally realizing the position they were put in. Smiley single leg takedown. Looking like going for some sort of clover leaf here. No, just rolled him up.
He just got him in a roll up there that he's kind of tied up in his own, used his own body to tie him in a pretzel.
This isn't a pig roast.
Wow, doing a little drum solo.
Great echo here, the acoustics in here
are
fantastic here at the Cathedral.
And Sells going back, and for some reason having the common sense to make it to the corner for a legal tag.
Flashing a bit of teamwork here, up and over. And a knee to the face, 1, 2.
The flashiest knee drop in professional wrestling.
You could say he sells it.
That's true. Again, there's a lot of unnecessary pizzazz, some people might say, and by some people I mean me. But these two are great athletes, there's no doubt about it. But those forearms, there's no match for those forearms.
Perhaps.
Now that's some old Texas style forearms, a European uppercut a little bit. You're talking about the Briscoes, the Funks. That's that classic wrestling style, that brawling style, a Cowboy Bill Watts. And that's what they're trying to emulate.
And look on the outside, duplicitously, the Classics choking with that towel.
Well, that's what you call
corner.
A classic Jerry the King Lawler heel move. You know, that's something that Lawler would have done in his Memphis days.
Of course, the Classics trying to bring old school flavor here to Capitol Wrestling. Standing suplex.
Rolling
Went for the cover.
Now, see. Now he tried to roll him away from his corner, which was smart. Unfortunately, it did buy Sells a little bit of time, so
But
he could get out of that.
the adjustment was there.
But it was a smart, the thinking, the process is there.
Right hand to Sells. Now mocking Sells.
I know that these two, the Classics, they said they wanted to win the tag team championships at some point so that they could take the belts and go work for Baba's promotion, which I think they're a little bit caught up in the whole, old school thing, the old school theme. I didn't have the heart to break it to them. The knee to the gut.
Up, Sells up. The Classics working in tandem here. Drop down, 1, 2, and a kick out by Sells. Smiley on the outside, frustration mounting as it has been a long time.
How can you tell? He's got a mask on, Steven.
He's got frown lines.
Fair enough.
Crinkled mask.
Right to the stomach, isolating him in that corner.
Those massive shoulders just working him over, and now it continues. Smiley trying to get in, distracting the referee, and now a mugging going on in the corner here by the Classics. Sells fighting back. Looking to make a tag, but he is a long way from home right now. Smiley taken down on the outside. Perhaps a numbers game going to catch up to Sells and Smiley here as he is down on the outside, struggling to get up. Tag made by the Classics. Looking for perhaps a wishbone here.
Oh, wow.
Just doubling up on that knee, trying to take him off that vertical base, which is half of Sells' power.
Oh, and can't gyrate those hips. But he's trying to, I guess, gain some momentum. Somehow, even though it defines science, those hip wiggles give him some type of momentum, but
2 count.
Wasn't enough, apparently, to counteract that clothesline.
I think with them working on the legs, he wasn't able to get the full torque of the hip to fully gyrate.
Perhaps one too many old school body slams, because there's a palm strike from Sells.
Right under the chin. As Sells looks for the tag here. But the Classics again showing their resolve to no avail, because here comes Smiley, tag made.
Oh, wow.
What a moonsault up and over as Smiley is cleaning house here.
A forearm, another clothesline, another clothesline.
Elbow. Tried to roll through. Smiley. with a
Dropping him.
cutter, dropping him flat on the mat. 1, 2.
Uh-oh.
Broken up.
Going for a German suplex, but unable to lift him. Smiley fighting out of it.
Super kick catches his tag team partner.
Another strike by Smiley. And him in the...
And a double cutter here. Smiley clearing the table here. Tagging back in Sells. Sells stomping it out with a kick. And a neck breaker.
Yeah.
Smiley up top.
Wow.
My God, the
Incredible.
athleticism. 450 splash. 3 count. Matt Sells and Smiley may not be the most orthodox team, but what they are tonight are victors here in Capitol Wrestling.
I hope to God that they do not end up somehow winning those belts one day, and they are the face of Capitol Wrestling.
It just shows how competitive the tag team division is here in Capitol Wrestling.
And the Classics.
As the Classics walk off to lick their wounds. But standing victorious, Sells and Smiley. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to A View from the Capitol. I'm Stephen James. We're on the road to June 3rd when we return to Cathedral Hall in the heart of Jersey City for an action-packed night of professional wrestling you don't want to miss. Already signed for this event is the return match between John Kerman and Jeff Cannonball. Last week we heard from John Kerman and his thoughts on Jeff Cannonball, and next week, right here on Capitol Wrestling Television, we'll hear from the Newbridge native as he prepares for round 2 with the hybrid athlete. Also signed for our return to Jersey City is an interesting main event as Colossal Mike Law goes one-on-one with the National Wrestling Alliance's Pain Train Preston Quinn. We'll see the Pain Train in action next week on Capitol Wrestling in a triple main event against Leon St. Giovanni and Logan Easton LaRue. We heard from him earlier this week prior to the Classics competing in tag team action. But earlier this week, our Capitol Wrestling digital team spoke with the intergender world champion of the known universe, the Colossal Mike Law.
I have said time and time again that I would no longer be held back. You see, the management of Capitol Wrestling have decided that you, Preston Quinn, are the bearer. You are the main event. Will that be no more? Because on Saturday night, June 3rd, I, the Colossal Mike Law, am calling dibs on the main event. And there will be nobody, and I mean nobody, left to stop me.
Next week here on Capitol Wrestling, we'll witness the debut of the North-South Connection. Now we go to Queens, New York, where Harry Chajanian and I called all the action as we see one half of the North-South Connection, the Kid, Vinny Pacifico, battle in an open opportunity four-way from our friends from Future Is Now Wrestling.
Gentlemen, this contest a fatal four-way, one fall with a 25-minute time limit. Introducing first, participant number 1, fighting out of Staten Island, New York, official weight 170 pounds, Vinny Pacifico. Participant number 2, fighting out of Hollywood, California, official weight of 160 pounds. He is the Future, Sebastian King. Participant And introducing the fourth and final participant, fighting out of Ozone Park, Queens, New York. With a weight of 187 pounds, this is Grim Reaper.
The fans showing appreciation to Grim Reaper, as you said, has battled more times in this building than nearly anyone else. This is one veteran who is looking to teach these three hungry young talents how to be lions here. And we are underway.
By the way, a little bit of pair off. Vinny Pacifico throwing a lot of strikes at Evander James.
Ducks underneath. Straight drop kick. Grim Reaper with an elbow to Pacifico.
And now the veteran here is going to teach Pacifico a lesson.
And now we're dancing twosies. Over and under.
Caught him with a boot.
Arm drag. Again.
Another arm drag.
Arm drag and leg drop as Grim Reaper looks in control, but here comes Sebastian Cage.
You got to admit, for a guy who's constantly high, Grim Reaper has a great balance and agility.
Exchanging chops.
Ooh.
And it looks like Cage is a little worse for wear. You can hear it from over here. Hurricane Rana, as the leader of Lit, the future himself, stands alone in the ring. Is this foreshadowing?
Perhaps, but he's got to win the match in the ring. It doesn't matter they threw people out of the ring. Great, he's there by himself, but three competitors, and out to the outside. A high-risk maneuver, amazing.
And all competitors are down by the entranceway. Reaper is the first one up to his feet.
That's that medical marijuana. You heal faster. You recover a lot quicker. It's a beautiful thing.
Gotta get it back in the ring in order to win this open opportunity fatal four-way. And of course, as we saw earlier, former ICW talent Blade Valek has been making threats on social media towards Future Is Now management about being left off the show. Earlier today, he tried to enter the building, but security forced him out, and he made him buy a ticket to get into the Elks Lodge.
Well, I mean, the reality is he should be in this match. He deserves to be in this match. But unfortunately, the people here at the ICW Futures Now organization don't feel that way, which is a real shame. Grim Reaper with a Hurricane Rana into an armbar face drop. I don't even know the name of that move. And I'm not high. I'm stone sober.
Debatable.
What? I don't.
Irish whip reversed into the corner.
I get high on life.
Evander James caught. Grim Reaper. Bounce over drop kick. Back in control. And again, this time scouted into the knee. James standing alone in the ring.
Evander James taking control now. Oh no, going to the outside of the ring. This is never good.
This is not good.
Never a good situation.
On the ring apron.
Going for a suplex, blocked by both.
Trying to gain control via strikes.
Oh, wow.
That is going to last.
Ooh.
As he took him downtown. And again, Grim Reaper, drop kick off the top rope, showing that the KG veteran still has a few tricks up his sleeve, but Pacifico back in.
Tremendous European uppercuts.
Slingshot backdrop. Pacifico firing up, but here comes Sebastian Cage.
And there goes that
springboard.
That shows you the lack of veteran, the lack of experience on Vinny Pacifico's part. Shouldn't have been celebrating, didn't look out for Sebastian Cage.
After the sling blade, goes for the cover. James, scooping him up, perhaps a German suplex. Look at the power of James. 1, 2, kicked out. Only 2.
The crowd counting how many dollars they have between them.
James taking umbrage to the fact that Sebastian Cage calls himself the future. Ducks underneath. Springboard. Oh, over top. And down goes James. The athleticism of the future here on display. And a clothesline by Pacifico, going for the 3. 1, 2, broken up by Reefer.
That's that youthful energy. It takes a lot to keep a young guy like that down.
Irish whip reversed into the ropes, held on.
Smart move by the Grim Reaper. That's that veteran experience.
Through the ropes goes Pacifico. Again, like you said, that veteran savvy. He now stalks his prey. Irish whip again to the future. Underneath. In a fireman's carry of some kind. Over into the ropes. Springboard DDT.
Suplex DDT. And now to the top rope.
Going up top. Rolling springboard senton. 1, 2. And broken up by James.
It's almost as if the Grim Reaper is trying to compete, trying to show these young guys, hey, I still got it. I know you guys love to do that high flying stuff. Guess what? I started that. I was one of the originators of that in the New York scene. I'm not going to be outdone.
And the heavies are coming out on the outside, as you can hear Reefer beating on James. Looks like they're working their way towards the back. James and Pacifico work their way to the back, but we are left with the 2 young, bright stars, Cage and Pacifico here.
And the veteran advantage in this situation, the smarts go to Cage.
Cage looking to go up top, setting him up.
Going for a moonsault.
Corkscrew, moonsault, nothing. Rolls through. Caught by Pacifico. And is that it? 1, 2, 3. You can count to 11. Vinny Pacifico, the winner of our open opportunity fatal 4-way.
Oh, what? Who's this?
What is this?
A fan in the ring. Clearly a fan.
That's Blade Valek. That's Blade Valek. He's supposed to be here as a fan.
Well, he is a fan. He just now they'll escort him out. You know, so we have security teams for this.
Fans do not have. This is not included in the ticket purchase price.
That's true, but it's an interactive experience. It's like one of those access things.
And Valek not releasing, 2 referees restraining him.
He might have bought the VIP package. You know, where they let you get in the ring and you get the little photo op so you can put on your Facebook thing. And that's going to be a hell of a Facebook photo op as you see Vinny Pacifico laid out.
Perhaps Future is now management should have listened and heeded the warning from Blade Valek.
Well, he did say he was going to be part of this show, no matter what, and he made that happen. Good luck trying to control this beast.
And you heard him. You did this. All of you did this.
Not me. I wanted him here. Don't blame me. I'm all for it.
This is what you get. I warned you.
Vinny Pacifico wins our open fatal 4-way, but it doesn't seem like he's the winner right now.
Well, he won a trip to the emergency room. That's what he won. All expenses paid.
Blade Valek, pardon.
Victims of Blade Valek receive a free emergency trip, a free stay at the Elmhurst Hospital.
Compliments
of the ICW.
Hey, kid. Yeah, I know. Me too. Big debut next week. You really excited? Awesome, Vinny. Very cool. Did you hear who were wrestling? No. Well, I heard it was 2 guys, and then I heard it was 2 other guys, but I'm sorry, what? And you're. Well, did you tell them? Okay. That would have been nice to know. All right. Thanks, kid. What are we gonna do?